who are looking and listening to me via YouTube and Facebook. It's always a pleasure to be on the street 919 FM. And first of all, let me thank all our sponsors who are with us on Street 919 FM. We have Empress Judy, and then we had Kingdom Health with Mr. Brendat, and we want to thank, first of all, also who started the ball rolling today. We want to say hello and thank you to Mr. Bruce Wayne and Sharon Felix and they. So it's my turn to take you until 2 o'clock. We're supposed to, and we should have a sponsored segment coming up at about, let's say, quarter to the hour of 12 o'clock. Right at about 11:45, thereabout, we should have a sponsor segment coming up. So again, let me say thank you for being with us here on Street 919 FM. I know I always appreciate my viewers on YouTube and on Facebook, and those of you who are locked on via the radio. Can't forget my radio people. You know, taxi drivers, maxi drivers, bus drivers. I just got to realize the other day that there's a bus driver who listens to me every day. Faithful. Thank you very, very much. Thank you very, very much. So, today is Friday, and you know, on a Friday, I try to choose a issue, a topic based on what happening throughout the week. So much has been happening throughout the week. I'm seeing where, first of all, the World Health Organization has declared monkeypox a little pandemic, you know. And also, I'm seeing where it is causing a little somewhat discomfort, and I would laugh, but it's causing some discomfort because of some people's lifestyle. So the WHO has also declared that monkeypox is fastly being spread by people of a homosexual lifestyle. Right, something that I believe I have the video from the World Health Organization. So I think I'm going to try and get that video to show you. But that is something that when I heard it, I said, "Whoa, the World Health Organization, brave boy. Yeah, they're brave. But what can I say? What can I say?" Yeah, so that was something that jumped out at me. Right? That was something that jumped out at me. So also this week, we're seeing where, was it yesterday, the Minister of Housing and Urban Development, Miss Camille Robinson Regis, the Honorable Ms. Camille Robinson Regis, would have indicated the celebration, 60 years anniversary celebration, and I wanted to get that in today. So if you are on the live, you can join me. If you haven't yet joined me on the live, you can do so now on the Street 919 FM Facebook page. So something I wanted to get you involved in the discussion, and one of the discussion I want to have with you today, and you know, one of the discussion is about our 60th. The Independence Day parade is back, and so too are the Independence Night fireworks. The Housing and Urban Development Minister said there was no right. Yes, so said the Honorable the Housing and Urban Development Minister, Miss Camille Robinson Regis. All right. So we're seeing where there are going to be a great celebration for our 60th. Yeah, 60th, boy. We reached 60. Very interesting. So join me on the live. Come on the live, and we will get into that discussion today. How do you all feel about it? And we can talk about other stuff. I have some other stuff lined up for us to talk about. But this was one of the things that I wanted to get off the discussion with today. Here, let me play this video for you. All right. So I'm about to show you the video. Come on the live as I show you the video of Ms. Camille Robinson-Regis and the discussion that she's having about Independence Day celebration.
The Ministry of National Security is part of the working committee that has been meeting, and with us as the oversight committee. So the Independence Day parade is definitely on.
Housing and Urban Development Minister Camille Robinson-Regis confirming the return of the parade, which had not been held for the past 2 years because of the COVID pandemic, as she responded to a question from TV6 News during a news conference on Thursday. In response to another question from TV6 News about another event that had also been cancelled for the past 2 years, Minister Robinson-Regis said the committee in charge of planning the 60th independence celebrations had examined the issue of fireworks, especially with regard to noise levels.
And so on, so we're trying to be sure of where we place the fireworks when they do, but there will be a major fireworks display. We have also been discussing the issue of noiseless fireworks, but it may not take place on this occasion, but we have been discussing how best to do it so that it does not cause as much of a disruption as has been known. But there will be a major fireworks display in the Savannah.
Minister Robinson-Regis held a news conference to announce plans for a series of events to commemorate the nation's 60th anniversary of independence on August 31st.
I'd like to let you know that the period is a month and not a year. It is a month of celebrations.
Although there have been much less new COVID cases than had occurred during the phase of the Delta variant and a much lower daily death rate, the minister acknowledged the pandemic remains a concern.
Will those issues discussed as part of the deliberations for these celebrations?
They certainly will. They were discussed. There were some other possibilities that I had placed before the cabinet, like a children's rally and things like that, and we opted not to go for those expressions because of those very issues of COVID is still part of our existence. So we opted not to go for that.
The regulations for the mandatory use of face masks were lifted on July 17th.
So notice you have any return to mandatory wearing of face masks at this time?
No. Sure, you asking me things that I'm the Minister of Housing and Urban Development. I realize. Yeah, there's no, that did not come up.
Minister Robinson-Regis reinforced the government's position that it is up to the individual to protect himself or herself, and although it is a time of celebration, people should not forget about COVID-19.
So that's why, to a large extent, some of the things have been scaled down and they're easier to manage. We will also expect that the citizens will take charge of their own safety as it relates to the pandemic, because the pandemic is still with us.
Jewel Brown, TV6 News.
So you heard it, 60 years celebration, but I'm going to continue with the story because there is another part of the story that I want you to hear, which is the amount that is costing the government of Trinidad and Tobago to celebrate our 60th, our anniversary. So let me take you to this other part of the story. So join me on the live. You could join me on the live Street 919 FM Facebook page, also on Iwer TV on YouTube. And let's look, and because I know that somebody's going to talk about it and somebody's going to bring it up. So listen to this.
Development Minister Camille Robinson-Regis announced plans for celebrations to mark the 60th anniversary of the nation's independence, which are to take place across Trinidad and Tobago. TV6 News posed a question to the minister about the issue of security, as there has been a recent spike in homicides and other violent crimes, including in parts of the nation's capital, Port of Spain.
Crime is always a concern, but we do believe that the police service, as they said very recently, especially as it relates to Port of Spain, they have instituted a series of patrols and ongoing measures to deal with any instances of crime.
The minister expressed confidence in the arrangements being put in place by law enforcement for the 60th independence anniversary celebrations, which are to take place over the period of 1 month. And the cost?
The figure that we have is 7.5 million.
The minister said the celebrations are to include what she identified as Together concerts, which are to take place on Independence Night, August 31st, Republic Night, September 24th, and in Tobago on September 23rd.
Each concert begins with a smoke ceremony of and from our indigenous people and detonates and denotes the inclusion of our premium artists, including but not limited to calypso, soca, chutney, spoken word, parang soca, rhythm sections, steel orchestras, and the like.
There's also to be an independence-themed cross-country concert tour that will be configured to generate focus and attention and awareness of independence.
The Whitehall will provide the backdrop for a 3D mapping rendering of iconic patriotic images, and there will be an easy listening concert with excursions by saxophonists, tenors, baritones, choirs, steel band soloists, and trumpet renditions. The Queen's Park Savannah area east of the Whitehall will be transformed in such a way that we will invite families and citizens to come there and see the 3D mapping.
Minister Robinson-Regis revealed the logo to be used for the series of events that will mark Trinidad and Tobago's 60th independence anniversary. She said the logo was designed by graphic artist Bertrand John of Tobago. The minister also said all of the events are to be free for the public. Jewel Brown, TV6 News.
Years. We're going to be celebrating 60 Trinidad and Tobago. How do you feel? What's your view? You have heard the minister with the celebrations, and I just have one thing to say. I have one thing to say. I was hoping, this is just me, my hope, I was hoping that in the midst of the 60th anniversary, there'd have been a gospel fest or a celebration, thanking God for taking us through the transition of COVID and being able now to open up to celebrate 60 years of independence and give God the biggest praise party that Trinidad and Tobago has ever seen. So that was just my, because I keep remembering, and it always stayed with me when the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago said that when we come out, when we open back up, one of the first things he wanted to do was to have a Thanksgiving service. And I this is just me, as I said before. I hope that they do find 7 million, 7.5 million. Yeah, I just really hope that somebody who's close to Dr. Rowley would remind him that, you know, we are alive because God has spared us. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Pastor Google. So I just heard you talk about the spiritual aspect of the celebration, and I thought I would call you. And yes, I think that is very important.
Is that I am saying that I didn't hear anything about it, and I think that it should be taken into consideration.
Right, I didn't hear any either, so I'm basing it on what I don't know, right?
Yeah.
And I think that all the religious leaders should come together and do something about what you suggest in there, because, you know, with everything we have to praise God. We have to thank Him. That's what we do the first thing before we get out of our bed, right? Thanks for waking up and hoping something good is going to happen to us today and something good is going to happen to our country. And I think that's a good suggestion, Pastor Google. And I want to say, thank God for Trinidad and Tobago for going, for taking care of us during this pandemic. So I'd call you again later on. So have a pleasant morning.
Thank you very much. My thing is not even, I just want to make it clear, it's not a brand new idea or suggestion I'm making. It was something that the Prime Minister said. All right? And I'm just kind of reminding him, or reminding somebody close to him to just remind him now that in this 60th year of anniversary, just do something to just really, just do what you said. Give God thanks. Have a Thanksgiving service. A big one. And thank God that, you know, what we were planning for didn't happen. You remember all the tents that we put down in the stadium, expecting a big wave? It didn't happen. I'll go for a sponsor segment and come back.
The views expressed are not necessarily the views of the management of the Street 919 FM.
People often think about wellness in terms of physical health, nutrition, exercise, weight management, etc. But it is much more. Wellness is a holistic integration of physical, social, emotional, spiritual, intellectual,